Okay, let's dive in. Today we're exploring a feeling that's incredibly common, yet really personal,
Mm,
taking your very first flight.
mhm.
It's more than just, getting from A to B. It's a psychological journey, too, kind of navigating this big, complex system for the first time.
That's right. Yeah, it's a moment many of us remember quite vividly, or maybe some are still looking forward to. It's a pretty significant step, really, into a whole new world of travel and procedures.
In our source material for this deep dive, it isn't some technical manual or a dry research paper. It's something much more human.
Much more relatable.
Exactly. A personal narrative
Hmm.
captured in a transcript, just recounting this exact experience, from start to finish. The airport, the process, the flight itself, all seen through fresh first-timer eyes.
And that gives such a unique perspective, doesn't it? It's not just what happens, but like how it feels when you don't know the rules, you're not used to the sounds, the sheer scale of it all.
Yeah.
So we get to unpack the practical stuff alongside that very real emotional journey. The excitement, the nervousness, and then hopefully that feeling of accomplishment at the end.
So our mission here is to go beyond just retelling the story. We want to pull out the insights, maybe some surprising details, and those sort of universal ideas about facing new challenges, finding your footing in complex places,
Mm.
all drawn from this one first flight.
Think of it as a guide to the feeling of firsts, almost.
Right, using the airport as our case study.
And as we go through this, maybe you, listening, can think about a time you faced something big and new, or perhaps what parts of this particular story resonate with you.
Okay, so let's start where any big trip really begins. That feeling the night before, the anticipation.
Yes, the source kicks off right there, that
Mm.
palpable feeling, sitting on the bed looking at an empty suitcase. But inside, there's this mix, this swirl of excitement and nervous energy.
It's the classic pre-adventure cocktail, isn't it?
Absolutely. And there's a lovely, simple detail in the narrative. Writing first flight ever in a little notebook and drawing an airplane.
Ah, yeah.
It's just a small ritual, but it really marks the moment, doesn't it? Acknowledging the significance, maybe even the bit of bravery needed. Then comes the practical bit, packing.
Right. The narrative goes into filling that empty space.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes, t-shirts, pants, socks, that crucial warm jacket,
Mm.
the usual toiletries. But it highlights specific things, too.
Hmm.
A book, headphones described as never travel without them. A snack, even a gift for the person they're meeting.
Which tells you it's not just about clothes, is it? It's about packing comfort, connection, distraction,
Yeah.
things to help you through the actual journey.
So the main suitcase gets the bulk. But the backpack, that's like the immediate command center.
Exactly. Phone, charger, passport, ticket, and that notebook, the chronicle of the whole thing.
And what really strikes me here is the feeling the person expresses after packing. I feel proud I packed everything by myself.
That's such a significant little insight right there. The act of preparing, taking responsibility for your own stuff, your readiness. It's part of building that confidence before you even walk out the door.
The journey through the system starts right there, with mastering your own logistics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fast forward to the morning itself.
Mm-hmm.
Early start, still dark outside,
Exactly.
sleepy but buzzing.
Yeah, that battle between sleepiness and excitement. The journey to the airport is by taxi, and the narrative captures that feeling. Quiet streets at first, but inside, the heart's picking up pace.
Instinctively holding the backpack tight, taking a deep breath.
Yeah, the nervousness is there, definitely, but it's framed as a good way, more like energy than just pure fear.
And there's some key support mentioned too.
Yeah,
A parent in the car just laying out the basic steps. Check in, security, find the gate.
simple explanation, but the source notes listening really carefully, wanting to do everything right. That desire for competence when you're facing something totally new. It's so universal.
Then they arrive. The airport itself. Sensory overload hits.
Yep. Big lights, tall glass doors, and many people. It just looks huge, bigger than expected. It's not just a building, it's this massive environment, often pretty intimidating the first time.
Totally. And the sounds.
Oh yeah, the soundscape is crucial. Suitcases rolling everywhere, that sort of hum of voices in different languages, the loudspeaker announcements echoing.
It's a complete immersion, isn't it, into this
Yeah.
dynamic, busy system. The source says it feels new and a little confusing, but also exciting.
That mix again. And the simple act of holding a parent's hand becomes this, physical anchor in all that swirling newness.
That feeling confusion and excitement. It really shows a key part of facing complex new things, doesn't it?
It does. It's overwhelming, sure, but the potential reward, the flight, the destination, gives you that motivation to push through the disorientation.
And seeing those signs, check-in, security, gates,
Yeah.
even if you don't fully get it yet,
Yeah.
it starts to put some structure on the chaos.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've absorbed the initial shock of the place. First big hurdle, check-in.
Right. The source describes finding the area, maybe a short wait in line, and that moment of just watching other
The
travelers.
business people, holiday makers, some looking tired, others smiling.
And that observation, it's more than just killing time, I think. It's seeing yourself as part of this bigger flow, right? A whole community of people going places. It kind of broadens the perspective beyond just your own anxiety.
Good point. Then the interaction at the desk itself.
Handing over the passport, the ticket, the person in uniform typing away, and then you get it back. The boarding pass.
And the source specifically calls out the seat number. 14A, window seat.
That's a big deal. Holding that piece of paper, my first boarding pass. It's not just instructions, it's like tangible proof.
A token.
Yeah, a token that makes the whole journey feel real. You've cleared the first official hurdle.
And then the suitcase goes on the moving belt.
Ah, yes, the physical letting go, waving goodbye to it. It's such a wonderfully human detail, capturing that mix of trust and maybe slight worry as your stuff disappears into the belly of the airport.
It kind of demystifies it a bit, though, watching it go and thinking, okay, it's going to the plane too. It's the first real point where you hand control over to the system.
Mm-hmm. It enters that whole hidden network, barcodes, conveyor belts, logistics, this complex dance happening behind the scenes to get it to the right plane.
Which brings us neatly to what's often the most anxiety-inducing step for newcomers, security.
Right. The source notes many people here too, highlighting how public it all feels.
And this part of the story gives us some good insights into dealing with procedures, authority, under a bit of pressure.
Definitely. The process is laid out. Get a tray, put your backpack in, jacket off, shoes off, phone in. That feeling of being a little nervous, wanting so badly to do it right.
Putting the tray on the belt, walking through the archway, and then that sound.
The beep.
Yeah, the source says, my heart jumps a little. That sudden alert, signaling you might have done something wrong, it instantly ramps up the tension.
And here we get a perfect example of a really common first-time mistake. Forgetting the liquids rule.
The water bottle?
Yep. The security guard asks, and suddenly they remember the water bottle in the bag.
But the source highlights how the guard handles it.
Which is crucial. They open the bag, take out the bottle, explain the rule, no water, clearly but kindly, and then confirm everything else is okay.
That interaction is so important.
Yeah.
It shows that navigating the system isn't just about getting everything perfect first time.
No, it's also about how mistakes are dealt with and how that human touch within a rigid process makes a huge difference.
And that positive resolution, even after making a mistake, leads to this feeling of pride.
Yeah, the source describes it like, okay, I made a mistake, but I stayed calm and we sorted it out. That's a key takeaway, isn't it? You build agency not just by getting things right, but by successfully fixing things when they go a bit wrong.
Putting shoes back on, following the parent, another layer of competence gained. Okay, security successfully navigated. The main admin hurdle is cleared. Now it's about finding your specific path, that long hallway, all the signs.
And this is where the boarding pass becomes less of a trophy and more of a vital tool, right?
Exactly.
Looking at it, finding the gate number, gate 12 in this case, and actually following the signs, putting the information into practice.
So in arriving at gate 12, finding it near a big window with that view.
Oh, the view. Airplanes parked, moving around, some actually taking off. The source captures that profound moment of watching one climb into the sky and whispering, wow, that will be me soon.
That connection between the abstract idea of flying and the concrete reality right outside the window. It's incredibly powerful.
It really is. It shifts the anxiety back towards wonder and kind of validates the whole stressful process you've just been through.
And they notice the atmosphere at the gate, people reading, on phones, some even sleeping. Just waiting.
Everyone's just waiting, yeah. Each in their own little pre-flight world. The nervousness is still there. The source acknowledges that. But now it's balanced with this feeling of being ready.
Another check of the backpack, passport, boarding pass, phone, headphones. That physical check-in with yourself.
Reaffirming readiness. And external validation helps too. A parent's encouraging words, you're doing well, you're almost there. It just underlines how important that support can be.
The countdown starts. Just 20 more minutes.
Leading to that internal declaration, I'm ready and I'm brave. It's not just passively waiting anymore. It's an active shift in mindset, embracing it.
Courage isn't the absence of fear.
Exactly. It's deciding to go ahead anyway.
Then the system signals the next step, the announcement. Now boarding Flight 245 to River City. Hearing your specific flight makes it very real.
Walking towards the boarding line, hands feeling a little cold. The final check by the staff confirming the seat again, 14A, window, and that simple enjoy your flight.
That's the last human handover before you step onto the plane itself.
And walking down the jet bridge, described as a long hallway. That sort of in-between space, literally bridging the terminal and the plane.
Heart beating fast, acknowledging how significant this transition feels.
And then the moment itself. Stepping onto the plane.
Big change in environment, soft lights, all those rows of seats.
Yeah, and the immediate welcome from the flight attendant right by the door. The source mentions smiling nervously, saying, hello.
Finding the seat, 14A, right by the window. And the view is instantly amazing. Seeing the airport, the ground crew, other planes from this totally new angle. It's a real payoff.
Definitely. Fastening the seatbelt, the sign lights up, you do it, and getting a thumbs up from a flight attendant. Another small, non-verbal reassurance in this very structured place.
And then takeoff begins.
This is where the system really takes over, isn't it? The plane starts moving slowly, then faster, faster still. That rumbling sound builds.
Feeling pinned back in your seat.
And then that definite shift going up higher, higher into the sky. The physical sensations are intense, holding the armrest tight, feeling that pressure in your ears.
But the simple advice shared earlier comes back. Swallow. It helps with the ears.
It does. And looking outside, that dramatic change, the ground shrinking, cars like tiny toys, clouds suddenly right there, close enough to touch.
And the source just perfectly captures that moment of pure triumph.
And I did it. I'm flying. All that buildup, the navigating, the nerves, it all culminates in this incredible, almost unbelievable feeling.
So now they're high up, surrounded by white clouds described like pillows, sun shining through. The feeling shifts to quiet and calm.
Yeah, that initial fear of takeoff just melts away, replaced by this profound sense of peace, relief almost. Feeling much better now.
And observing others reading, watching movies, sleeping. Now part of this shared, calmer experience inside the cabin.
Then the in-flight service comes around, the flight attendant offering drinks, getting apple juice and crackers. It's just a moment of simple comfort routine within this extraordinary situation.
And here's a really lovely, quiet moment of processing it all. Taking out the notebook again.
Yes, and writing just one simple, powerful sentence. I'm flying for the first time, and it's amazing.
Capturing it. Listening to soft music. Feeling calm, happy, proud as the plane just moves gently. The physical journey is ongoing, but that internal struggle navigating the newness has mostly resolved into quiet awe.
That peaceful phase lasts until the pilot's announcement, preparing for landing. Time to fasten the seatbelt again.
The view changes again as the plane comes down. Clouds gone, ground visible, buildings small, roads like lines on a map.
Ear pressure returns, but the technique is remembered. Swallow. It helps.
Holding the armrest again as the wheels touch down. Bump, bump.
That physical reconnection with solid ground, the plane slowing, braking, stopping, landing safely, that's the final procedural success.
Another quiet, I did it, whisper to oneself. That internal nod challenge completed.
Then leaving the plane, walking back into the airport building, legs feeling a little wobbly.
Happens every time.
It does. And then the final human connection point, seeing the cousin waiting at arrivals.
The wave, the hug, and the cousin's words. You flew all by yourself, acknowledging the achievement.
Recognizing the significance of navigating that whole system solo, the happy reply, my first flight, and getting the suitcase back, the thing entrusted to the system hours ago, now safely returned.
Perfect loop closure. The narrative ends with that feeling of deep accomplishment. Happy, did something new, was brave and proud. It's such a powerful summary of the whole arc.
It really is, not just the steps, but the internal transformation that happened along the way.
This whole narrative, it really gives us such a unique window into navigating something complex for the first time, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It highlights how even those seemingly simple steps like check-in or security are packed with these small moments of uncertainty, learning, interaction, all building confidence bit by bit.
Exactly. It really underscores that bravery in these situations, well, it isn't about knowing everything beforehand or having zero fear.
Not at all. It's about taking it step by step, maybe looking for support, recovering when you make a small mistake, and letting yourself feel the wonder alongside the nervousness.
So, reflecting on this journey we've just traced through the source material, What part of this first flight experience stood out most to you? Was it specific detail about the process, or maybe a description of a feeling or an interaction that seemed particularly key?
Hmm. What steps seemed clearer now, or perhaps even more complex than you might have imagined before we dove in?
And maybe a final thought to carry with you from this deep dive. This whole story, it's really a powerful metaphor, isn't it? For facing any complex, unfamiliar system in life. Could be a new job, moving to a new city, learning a difficult skill, even just navigating some tricky bureaucracy.
Absolutely. It's about breaking down something that feels overwhelming into manageable steps, finding your agency in the process, building confidence through doing, even if it's not perfect action.
So think about a first time that you might be currently facing, or perhaps one you see coming up. How can the approach we saw here, the step-by-step process, the willingness to feel nervous but act anyway, and that eventual pride in navigating the challenge, how can that apply to your own journey?